All right. How's everyone?
Doing well.
Good.
Doing all right? I
Yeah.
I hate starting shows off like this, but I would be I would really be angry at myself if I didn't bring light to the topic of human life. And we lost a good friend and a person that we had a lot of fun with over the years, and a lot of you know him as Big Jason. Coffee Jones. He had a few nicknames, but he was Jaw's right hand man, and he passed away last night. And I just wanted to pay my respects personally, the show, this fan's view, because he was responsible for a couple of times out at Dagwood's, most recently April 26th at Hanrahan's Irish Pub. So if we could raise our glass, Big Jason, rest in peace, buddy. We're going to miss you. So on that note, I know Jaws puts on the tough guy act, but this has got to be hurting him more than anything. So Jaws, hang in there, buddy. But we're gonna certainly miss Big Jason. So yeah. So this show is in his name, his honor, and like I said, I hate starting shows off like this, but like I said, we had to do it. We all knew him. We all worked with him, and he was a good dude. So cheers to Jason and his family and friends and teammates, and he had a lot of people in his walk of life. So we'll certainly pay our respects to him and his family as we learn more. So with all that being said, here we are back for another week. And by the way, how much fun was last week? Uh-oh. Where'd Johnny go?
He's gone.
He's gone, but we're still here.
Somehow. Somehow.
Just like that.
Yep.
Just like that.
Maybe he didn't think last week was very fun.
I guess not. I guess he didn't like us. I don't know. But I know it was the attendance was really good. It was Dan Baker's a hell of a guy, and it's fun. It's fun working with him. I think a while back, I can think of one of the conversations that I had was about relationships, right? Building relationships in our business. Anthony, I'm sure you've built plenty of them in your times in baseball town. And Lauren, with the people you work with every day, building relationships. Well, here's another one, Dan Baker, and to see, the group of people that came out from Drexel University, to be part of that and to be part of, everything that took place. So, are we going to change things around? Are you going to bring Ron Flockhart in? Is that what you want to do?
I guess so. He's on with us right now. So
all right. Well, we can bring him in early, and we can do that. I have no problem with that. I don't want to hold him up because he'll come back to haunt me if we do that. So why don't we introduce our guest, former Flyer, Ron Flockhart.
Hi,
guys.
How we doing?
Good. Carl, I love you like a brother. Just up here in Canada, sometimes you got to worry about getting through because I'm not very techy. So I wanted to listen to the show. I wasn't trying to rush you.
No, not at all. Not at all. I'm glad it worked out because we have a lot of fun with you hockey guys.
Oh, right on.
Something about hockey guys and the rest of the world. I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah. I wish I could have been there live, but I guess the smoke out of Quebec or something was really bad in Toronto, and we couldn't fly in. A lot of the guys had to cancel the golf tournament. But there's always next year, Carl. I want to come see you, have a cold beverage of our choice, and and hopefully hook up with you guys next year.
I'm having it right now. So cheers. I appreciate you taking some time out and joining the show. And what is life other than the smoke? What is life like in Smithers these days?
Well, I don't live in Smithers. I live in a place called Sicamous. It's in the southern BC, about 5 hours from Vancouver. And we're getting probably not as warm and muggy as you guys, but we're in the low 70s, high 60s right now, and it'll get up warmer. But right now, just enjoying a little bit of golf, and always look forward to talking to you guys, and just having a good summer.
Very good, very good. The hockey game, is she still kicking your butt?
Of course.
Very good. Very good. So I brought up Smithers because I guess that's where Connor Bedard is from.
No, Connor Bedard is actually from Vancouver.
I'm 0 for 2.
You're 0 for 2. You're going to be 0 for 3 here. His grandparents are from Sicamous. So the claim to fame is I was born and raised in Smithers, where the Watson boys are from, and that. And then my dad transferred to a place called Sicamous with the highways department. But Connor Bedard is actually from Vancouver. His grandparents are from Sicamous. We lost Grandpa here last year in an accident, but Grandma moved down to Kelowna. But all this area here is where, like in Sicamous, the town is only 3,000 people, but we've got 15 guys that touch NHL ice, such as my brother and me, Rob Flockhart, Shea Weber, Cody Franson, Chris Beach. It goes on and on. There's about 14, 15. We had an annual event here, and there was 15 of us that touched the NHL ice for 3 games or more.
Okay.
And that's in a short little ball right there, Carl. That's how it goes.
So I'm safe to say I won't go 0 for 3, that Connor Bedard will be chosen number 1 in the draft?
Well, I think Chicago would hang the owner, the GM, and the president if they don't take him.
Right.
It's a good boost for Chicago, and I wish Connor. He's been here lots. He golfs. He comes to see his grandma on that. He's a great kid. I wish him all the best, and it's a tough road, but I think he's ready for it.
Okay. He's young.
Yeah, he's a punk. There's no question. But we all were at one time, right?
100%.
Yeah, I was pretty nervous coming into Philly at 19 years old, and you couldn't even go to the pubs when Bobby Clark would call a team meeting. There were 6 of us underage. We couldn't even go.
Well, I wanted to talk about that a little bit. Funny you bring it up, but was there a good spot? But one where they didn't they waived the age thing.
Well, I don't want to get anyone in trouble.
I think we passed that curfew.
Okay, well, Kaminsky's was the hangout over in Cherry Hill, because we all lived in Cherry Hill, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, and my first roommate in Philly was a famous guy by the name of Stephen Coates.
And he recently retired,
Yeah, no, I talked to him while I was coming in for the golf tournament, so we were going to hook up. But Coates was my first roommate with at different periods of time, Frank Baby Doll Bathe and Jack McElharty. I had some beauties.
Wow. There's some names from the past.
Yeah.
So what was it like at 19 coming into the city of, did you even know about Philadelphia back then?
To be honest with you, you know what, your dreams aren't even went that far yet, and then all of a sudden, Carl, it hits you in the heart or whatever. You're going, where? Who drafted me or who signed me? So you do. Back then, you would look in books. There was no Google or none of that. So it was interesting. My mom was very nervous about me going to a city of millions of people, right? But You know what? When you get off that plane and they're there to greet you and take you by the hand because they know you're innocent and, well, in my case, not that bright. So, they really guide you along. And Keith Allen was a marvelous man. I just loved him to death. He was the greatest GM that I could even think of. And they were just, really good to you. And the veterans were good. And it was a good team to play for as a kid.
Yeah. Did you have somebody on the team that kind of took you by the hand and made sure you got home at night?
Well, yes, there was, and I felt bad because I was quite a handful at 19. I was a bit of a butthead, but Billy Barber was my mentor and my daddy, if you wish. And we had different names for everybody, but Billy was the guy that just calmed you and smartened you up when you had to be.
Yeah, very good. We've worked with Billy over the years many times, and he's one of our favorites as well. What do you follow the team much these days?
As much as possible, Carl. I mean, I'm not a hockey buff anymore. I'm 62 now, and I kind of lead. I play a lot of golf up here, and then we go south, and my daughter now and husband and grandkids are in Louisville, Kentucky. He's the assistant football coach for the Cardinals. Assistant quarterback, coach for the Cardinals. So they just bought a place in Louisville. So we're going there, and we're going to go down to Orange Beach, Alabama, and do a little golfing. So I'm becoming a Southerner again and an Eastern at the same time because I'm going to be close to the city that I love most. And we're going to you might get tired of me, Carl. I'll be phoning quite a bit.
Never get tired of you. Never get tired of you. You're welcome. You're welcome anytime. Hey, we got a question online from one of our astute hockey people. Where did the high speed line name come from?
Do you remember the Cooperalls were introduced by the Flyers?
Sure.
So it was Brian Propp. And I believe at that time it was either Ray Ellison or Tommy Gorens. I can't remember on right wing, but we were young and snotty nosed, right, and fast, and so the high speed line came from I don't know which reporter. It might have been Al Morgani, but we were selected by Mr. Snyder or Mr. Allen. I can't remember. We were going to fly up to Toronto, I believe. And it was going to be promotional stuff done for the Pants, right? The Cooperalls.
Right, sure.
And that night we played, can't remember, I think it was New York at home. And Paul Holmgren and me were going in the corner together, and the kind of a slingshot stick and came back and cut me for 17 here. Ooh. And I couldn't fly in the private plane up to Toronto because of the pressure on the stitches. So that's kind of a story. It was the high-speed line for one night, and then the next night we were just done.
Short-lived, huh?
Well, I mean, Proppy and me stuck together for a few years, obviously, but then Ray Allison came to the plate after TJ went away. But we had some really good years there together as a line for sure.
Yeah. I was just we were asked to help out with Prop's first golf outing, and Ray Allison was one of the guests, and he had to have we handled the memorabilia auction that night, and he had to win the Bobby Hull autographed jersey because that was the last he played with him with the Blackhawks.
Oh, okay.
So he had to have that. So that was an interesting story.
For sure.
Yeah. So it was fun to, you learn all about this stuff, along the way. And, you guys got the best stories. I mean, the stories are just priceless.
Well, I think that's why we get invited back to golf tournaments. And I did the NHL Old Timers Tour back in the day for about 12, 15 years because we get to tell these people these ridiculous stories, which are true. and they just come back and back every year because they want to hear them.
Yeah. Yeah, we're actually we're with Prop next week. We got him live at one of our local pubs. We love Proper to death. He's one of our favorites here.
Well, tell him I said hi.
Absolutely,
We will.
100%. Guys, any questions? John, you
Well, Jack's got a question here online. He wants to know, since you brought up Brian Prop's name, do you think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame? Because Jack's one of the biggest fans of Brian Prop's around.
I think we all deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, to be honest. I mean, they're starting to put referees in there and everybody else in our Hall of Fame. Why not let us all go in?
Right. There you go.
You know, to be honest with you, the Hall of Fame is this is my personal opinion. It's not an honor anymore because they've just made so many adjustments for it. And, you know, the boys that deserve to be in there are in there for sure. If I was voting, sure, I'd vote for Proppy. But it's not how it works, unfortunately. And I don't think I'm going to go to my grave worrying about it. But on the other hand, I play with a lot of tough guys and a lot of gritty people. And you know, it's always the people in the background that make the ones in the foreground the famous ones. So,
True.
you know, I don't disagree that anybody should not be in there. But I'm not a big fan of the Hall of Fame for the fact is I think they've changed their vows a little bit. And, you know, my personal opinion, and it's not to offend anyone or take any discredit from anyone by any means, you guys. It's just, it used to mean something, and I don't think it means anything anymore.
Okay. We've heard that more than once.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. There you go.
Yeah, we've heard it more than once. And it's funny because I've been up there, I think 3 times now, and it just I don't know. But and Anthony could probably shed some light on this too, because he's a big baseball guy, and I think he thinks the same, on the baseball side of things with, how they elect and, bring, certain guys in. It's become quite political, you might say.
That's another good word right there, Carl, is political. And
Yep.
And like, once again, though, whatever sport it is, if you see anyone past the age of 50, 55, or 60 that's played a professional sport with contact and you watch them walk, they deserve to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. True.
Anthony, did you see the new cast members that were elected for the Hockey Hall of Fame today?
I didn't. I have been out of the loop the last couple of weeks. Why? Who went in today?
Oh, it's who everybody thought it was going to be. It's Lundqvist, the King, with the Rangers. I guess that was the big name. But it's just some of them are so questionable. You just what Ron was just saying. Why just not open the door and invite everybody in?
Well, there's not really a good balance anymore. It seems between the hockey and football, they're letting just about everyone in, whereas baseball is the complete opposite, where sort of it's almost impossible to get in. So there's got to be some type of balance. You can't have 3 Hall of Fames, including basketball, that are, I don't want to say easy, but easier to get in, where any All-Star gets in, and then one like baseball where there's some years where no one gets in. It's fascinating. A lot of times it's probably to sell tickets and stuff like that. I don't know the reasoning, but
I don't think we'll ever know, brother.
Yeah.
True.
Lauren, any questions? You always seem to be hidden back there, and then all of a sudden you come up with a monster question that stirs the pot. So I just wanted to get that out there early.
All right. Well, I don't have any monster question yet, but I won't be shy if I do.
I got a question for John that picked us up. Where's Johnny?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Johnny, what was the name of the dog in Lassie?
Good question. It's a good question. Try Lassie.
Try Lassie. 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 Lassie.
Fucking Lassie. I was about to say that.
I rode with you for 2 ways, and I taught you better than that.
I know you did. I know. I just froze. I was just.
I know, brother. I know. It's all right.
You got me.
That was the highlight of your trip, right? The truck ride with John.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. No, it was a good time all around, boys. Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we got him back in time for his events going out to the Phillies game that day, right?
Yeah, we went.
Oh no, I'm sorry, the Eagles game. You went to the Eagles.
No, we went to the Flyers game.
Oh, it was Flyers game.
It was a huge weekend, John. Everybody was playing.
Right. Yep. No, exactly. Yeah.
You could afford every ticket. Holy cow, you would have been.
Right. No, that's true. That's true.
Hey, Carl, how long have you been in business?
28 years.
28 years, eh?
28.
Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah, they're they're planning the retirement celebration. I feel it coming.
Oh, well, that's good. Yeah, hopefully it's somewhere warm.
Hey, before we let you go, what do you think of the new Flyers with the Patrick Sharps and the John Leclercs and the Danny Brières, and what's your take on all of that?
Well, it's hard to put a take on it, really, Carl, because I just hope we do better, and right. one step and one success at a time. Let's not build a cup team right away. Let's just make sure we draft properly, and let's get some youth in there with talent. And we don't need Connor Bedard. We just need some young guys to develop like the old days, develop them and make them want to play for the team. And, we start, everybody's got an opinion, and everybody's a coach and everyone's a GM, and it's a tough, unforgiving job. No matter what you do, someone's going to not like you or whatever. So I just want to go back to the old ways where you just take your time and develop the team to win that first game, and it'll go into the multi-games, and then you worry about playoffs as they come.
There you go.
You got to bring back family too.
Bring back family. Forget about corporate. I know that's impossible, but let the husband bring his family to the games again, and make the guys accessible so you can talk to them and laugh with them, and make it a family for sure.
Yeah, that's going to be huge. But I like they're starting at the top and they're cleaning house. So as long as they see through with everything, it's got to turn into a positive eventually, right? You can't keep making these same mistakes.
No, for sure. And let's not forget, it's not management or coaches; it's the players' fault. They're the ones that decide whether you win or lose. I'm sorry. That's, it starts from your goalie out. And if you want to be a winner, you guys jam a team together, you form a gel, and you become competitive.
Yep.
The coach is there to change lines. You didn't make the NHL because you needed someone to tell you what to do. You learned that in junior from everybody, and that's why you get drafted. You get drafted to play the game you love.
Yeah.
So let's stop pointing fingers and just let the guys go do their job properly, and it'll be successful.
Yep.
We got one more question, and it has to do with the story of Flocky Hockey, I guess, in Philadelphia.
Oh, Flocky Hockey. It probably ruined my career in Philadelphia, but anyways. Al Morgani, he loved my name, Flocky. I got to see him, Carl, that night at the game, too.
Okay.
And, Al and me have become very good friends over the years, and he's the one that named me Flocky Hockey. Drove my mother nuts, but it became just something that it's stuck in everybody. Bobby Taylor. That was why I was mad. I was coming in for the tournament. Coachy was picking me up, and Chief Bobby Taylor. We were all going to hang. Bobby Taylor tried to promote Flocky Hockey dolls. And I think there was a few made. I can't be honest, but Chief and Coatsy, and they were retired by then, and they were getting into the media industry or the end of it, right? And so Chief and them I don't know who started it, but they made a few prototypes of the doll, and But it was Al Borgani one day in the paper that put something. I scored a couple nice goals or something, and it was Flocky hockey, and that's how it all started. But it kind of made it give you what's the right word? It just everyone kind of labeled you as now, where before I was just a third or fourth liner, right? Because I was only 19, 20 years old, and we were scoring 20, 30 goals a year, and no one really knew that we were there, because the first six were Clarkey and Barber and McLeish and Leach, and that was your viewpoint of the Flyers. And then all of a sudden, where are these punks in the background coming from scoring all these goals? And it was Proppy and Allison and Linsman and myself and Timmy Kerr. And so, yeah, Flocky hockey kind of labeled me, and it didn't make me any more money, Carl.
Well,
we got one more question. We got one more question, dude.
Hey, but before we ask him another question, the bra lady made sure she said to say hello.
Oh my gosh! Well, say hello back to her. She is a special person, and I don't know what else to say. You caught me, Johnny. I'm off guard now.
There you go. At least we got you back in the fluster.
Yeah, you guys got me back there. Oh my gosh! And I can't repeat what you were saying in your store, but it was it was an eye opener for sure. I think Bernie Perrant would have had a heart attack if he was in the store.
Probably.
What do you got, Johnny?
Well, we got from Joe Stinger, wanted to know, what was the one team you got yourself most up for the playing against?
You know what? As a kid, they're all. As you get older, you do have different ones, and mine was Vancouver. My brother played for them, and my family and friends would all come in. It cost me nothing but thousands of dollars in tickets. But the stands would be full of Sycamore Smithers people, and Jimmy was still playing, Watson. So, I mean, we just had, it was a big game for Jim and me to go in and beat the Canucks. And does this go back to BC or Vancouver at all?
It does.
Oh, shit. Because, the old saying is every time Vancouver is like the Titanic. Every time they hit the ice, they sunk, right? So, but anyways, that was the big one. You guys would go back near your hometown, and obviously, Pat Quinter, God rest his soul, he was a great coach. Quinter always believed in family, right? So he never let you not go out with your family after a game, and just made sure that you always got to see them, because we were away a lot. So it was huge.
All right. One last question. How many sheets of drywall did you hang today?
Well, my cousins did most of it, but I was the grunt guy. I was lifting it up, and but they mud and tape, and they're a good bunch of boys, and so they came over to give me a hand, and we put up and the worst ones are the 14 footers. We put up about 400 square feet.
Wow.
Yeah, just a little addition on the place here, and because the grandkids are getting bigger, so we got to get them bedrooms. I guess that was what I was told.
That's the game plan, huh?
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, hey, I appreciate you taking time to come on tonight to the show. We appreciate it. Say hello to everybody for us.
Yep.
Carl, Terry sends her love, and Johnny. And we will be back to see you guys for a cold one, and I look forward to it. And you guys all be safe. Best to you and your wife, Carl. I love you like a brother.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
See you guys. Be safe.
Yep. Thank you.
See you, Lassie.
See you, bra lady.
It's so ridiculous. Oh, my.
Too funny. I always freeze up on test. I'm not good at tests.
Come on, John.
That's John. That was like that was like a softball.
That was bad.
Yeah, but and I was, as soon as he said that, I'm thinking Old Yeller for some reason. I'm like, no. I'm like, no, wait a minute. And I was just about.
I did second guess it too. I kind of whispered to Anthony. I was like, "Isn't it Lassie?" I wasn't gonna look like the idiot.
That's my job here. I'm good.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
I'm good at that. That's all good.
John's new nickname is Lassie.
There you go, Jack. That's all good. I'm better than some of my nicknames.
Nick, he's a funny guy. I mean, we got to work with him a little bit at the store, and his one-liners just roll off.
Oh yeah.
He just I can't imagine what he's like at the end of a cold six-pack or whatever. But
18 holes of golf and
well, that too. But yeah, that was special, and we were supposed to meet up because the Flyers had their golf outing on Monday, and a lot of the guys from Canada, weren't able to get in because of all the. I guess there's a lot of flying restrictions in Canada now with the smoke and the fires and whatnot, and I was supposed to meet up with them last night, actually. And last minute, I just said to him, I'm like, hey, I said, how about the show Wednesday night? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. If I can figure it out. And I'm sure he had his wife, help him out with it. So that was a lot of fun.
Yep. Yes, it was.
That was a lot of fun.
We needed that fun before we get talking to the next subject,
which is
the Phillies.
What's the score?
I don't know. It's probably in a rain delay. Is it?
Is it in a rain delay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That might be a blessing for us, so we don't.
It gives the bullpen enough time more to rest up.
Well, yeah, it gives them a few more hours off, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Since we're in load management.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna sit this segment out, John. I'll let you and Lauren handle the Phillies. So you guys can vent your frustration, because I certainly got plenty of it.
Oh yeah. Well, last night was probably the straw that tipped it over the edge there, and it was pretty bad. If we didn't know it obviously at the time that they had three guys in the bullpen that weren't able to pitch yesterday after having a day off. So which doesn't really make much sense. But okay, that's the way it is. Why do you 99 pitches? Why do you not let Ranger go one more inning with the bottom of the order coming up? What's he going to throw? 115 pitches at the end of the day. Now you're into the eighth inning. If you're going to lose the game, lose it with Ranger, not with bringing in the bottom third of your bullpen. Where's Marte to pitch? Instead, if you're going to do it, bring anything else. Not that he's one of the top guys, but it's just I don't know. We've been seeing this for the past 5-7 years now, ever since they went to analytics, and I still believe it's all analytics driven, and that they're given the information, and whether or not they use it, it's on them, but it's just safer to go with the analytic department, and you're not second guessed. And
hold on one second. Just because I haven't watched much Philadelphia Phillies baseball in a while, I'm looking here. They've been on a roll recently. They lost yesterday, but they're 7-3.
Mm-hmm.
They're 2 games out of the wild card, which they weren't even sort of. We're gonna be a tough division the whole time. Johnny, you're sounding like it's the end of the world because they had some bullpen games, but they're in a fine spot right this second.
No, you're right, and I mean they played well for 13 out of 15 games. But the problem is you're going against the Braves. It's sending them. You're sending the signal out to the whole league or to your team.
It was one game. This is what happens sometimes in Philadelphia a little bit. They jump off the roof. We got to relax a little bit. It's been one game. Yeah, the bullpen isn't great, but most bullpens.
You know what it's been like for 30 years facing the Atlanta Braves?
How about, do I know what it's like for 37 years being a fan of the Pittsburgh Pirates? And
All right, so you can,
what I've
so
learned is
you can
you
feel
gotta-
you
you
can
gotta-
feel the frustration.
not after a game when you've been 7-3. If the Pirates went 7-3, I'd be pretty happy if they had
But
a
they didn't
loss.
play anybody. They
Well,
didn't play anybody in that 7-3 mark.
But it doesn't matter. That's when you got to stack up those wins. If they went 3-7, you'd be mad. You got to take the positives out of it. You got to. All I'm saying is,
there wasn't a positive to be had last night.
last night there wasn't, but over the last 10 games there have.
Oh no, absolutely no. Now we were just talking about last night's game. Where if
Well, by the way, Johnny, just to put it in perspective, not that this makes it any better, but this is a whole. I'm not going to say league-wide thing, but at least at least organizationally, because that's all I see on a day-to-day basis, right? Our team and other minor league teams have bullpen games, and our team has really good starting pitchers currently. And we're winning like 7-0 some nights, and we lose 8-7. I don't know that and obviously the Phillies are where it's at, and they're making those decisions. But I think it's sort of a trickle down thing with us. A lot of teams' bullpens aren't as great as they could be, and that's how you sort of, at the end of the day, how you win a championship is a bullpen, because that's the issue. If you can hit all you want, but if you're giving up 12 runs a game, you're in trouble. So no, I totally get the frustration. I don't think it's just a Phillies thing. I think it's happening quite a lot.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely not. I mean, we played the Dodgers, and they had two of the 3 games against the Dodgers. They threw a bullpen game against us. So yeah, no, it's all around baseball. It's a way to save a fifth starter, not having to pay a fifth starter. You just throw your bullpen guys out there, which if we would have had a fifth starter, I don't know, Zach Eflin. If we would have kept him, he's like 10-2, I think, this year.
When you're saying about Ranger, so Ranger's dealing, he's doing well. You take him out of the bullpen, comes in, and they blow the game. The problem is they're not going to let any team, right? That's the world we live in. They don't let any of these starters go very long, especially a guy that's coming back from an injury or time off. So that doesn't shock me that they do that. The problem is the bullpens. At some point, you got to make some moves, or they got to figure it out at some point. That's the frustration.
It was just last night's game. You went with your, you're in a 1-1 game. If you take Ranger out, okay, you use your Alvarados, so like your top guys, and lose with them. Not throw your bottom guys in there and lose with that when you're playing the Braves. That's all.
Yeah.
I mean that.
Well, yeah.
And you can't have three of your three bullpen guys working or not being able to pitch after a day off. I mean that's just ridiculous.
No, yes. Yeah, so some of those decisions aren't the best. Maybe they want to give Alvarado some time. Whatever. You don't know what goes into it. That's more of a coaching thing. But at some point, those guys that aren't as good do have to pitch, because if they're on the team, they got to prove that they're worth it. If not, you got to get rid of them. I mean, you got to do something. So they got to pitch. But
if this was game 3, of the series, you already used Alvarado, in multiple games throughout the series. Okay, fine. But this is game 1 against the Braves, where it's not like last year where you have 19 games against them. We only got 6 more games, plus these two left. In this, so you got 8 games left to play the Braves, and you're 9 games back. So now you're playing for a wild card spot, at best.
Well, and some of these decisions back in the day would have always come down to the manager, but I don't even know if that's the case anymore. I don't. Theoretically, it's supposed to be. I don't know if that's the person that's making them. Sometimes, some teams might have the pitching coach making that decision himself, and the manager is sort of like the overseer. It's not like it used to be. It's different. Every team's different, and I don't know what goes into each decision. Maybe a computer's telling somebody that so-and-so hasn't pitched in a while, so they got to pitch. I don't know.
No, and we've seen this for, since Gabe Kapler. It's the same things we're arguing about constantly. How do you have a day off and then 3 of your top relievers aren't available? It just doesn't work out.
Well, the record's currently 38-35. They're playing like a team that is a little bit better than average. So that's what the record indicates. They're a little bit better than average.
What do you want for $240 million? Do you want to, you want better?
Yeah, that's the main problem. I mean, if you're a little better than average and you're have a salary of $50 million. That's one thing. When you're paying 240 and people are expecting you to win, that's what gets frustrating. All I'm trying to say is there's a long way to go. But they just got to figure out the bullpen. I mean, it's not an easy task, but that's always been the problem. That's where I would start with every year. You can get as many hitters as you want. If you can't stop people from scoring, then you're kind of in trouble.
Well, like I said, I mean, and just for last night's game, it was just you didn't use your best guys. That's all. That was the problem, because the bullpen has been good this year. I'm not complaining about the bullpen. It was just the way they were used yesterday. It was just you didn't play the game to win. You played it to get through the game, basically. And Ranger had a great game. 1 run going against another good quality pitcher in Strider himself. You're six innings in, and then you blow it in the 7th, type of thing. And you could have had Ranger go. Again, knowing that you have 3 guys less in the bullpen, let Ranger go an extra inning then. If that's the case.
All right, let's move on, but we're gonna stick with baseball, and we're gonna get Anthony's update, because he hasn't been with us for a few weeks. We'll give these excused absences an okay because you had games.
Also, I can't come to any shows. I think you looked at my schedule and you made the live shows every day that I wasn't around. I don't think I've been at a show since snow was on the ground.
By no means.
What am I doing?
By no means. There isn't a good show when you're not there.
Oh, that's so nice.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what do you want an update on? I'll give you an update on anything you want.
I make sure we get food sent home to you. We
Yes.
give us a because I was out there. I've been out there a couple of times now, and the building absolutely looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
Give us an update, because it almost looks like it's ready for windows and party time.
Yeah. So today I drove by on the way home, and they just have to put, as far as the exterior, all that needs to be done is maybe like a little patch of brick on the backhand side. They're almost fully done with the actual brick. We went in it as a staff maybe in April, early May, and it was just sort of big and cavernous. You couldn't really tell what it was going to look like. Now they're starting to put the rooms in the bottom floor. So again, the bottom floor is going to be expanded clubhouses, female locker rooms, mental health training rooms, all these cafeterias, all a family waiting room if your wife's there, something like that. That's all the bottom level. They're starting to actually put up sort of the makings of what the rooms are going to look like. And today I saw them start to put some stuff in the top floor, which is sort of going to be the banquet space for non-game days and game days. I would imagine sometime in the fall, let's say I'm going to make up a time, let's say October, November, we'd be able to sort of walk through with clients or potential clients or people interested to give them at least an idea of what it's going to look like. Right now, it's probably too dangerous to do that because there's not the proper steps and this and that, but they're moving quickly. They're there working every day. It's going to make us the top AA, if not top destination throughout baseball. I mean, we're going to be the first team that's pretty much fully done the project ahead of time, where other teams still haven't done anything. They're sort of calling Major League Baseball's bluff, which I would never do. So it's good. And we've had a ton of inquiries. Most of the inquiries have been outside of the county, which is fantastic, which means you're getting people to come into the county. We always talk as a staff, like most of the weddings we go to are in Lancaster or Montgomery County or Philadelphia or New York, and none of them are in Berks because there's only one venue. Now there's an actual venue that even if you don't care about baseball, it's just kind of a cool backdrop. So it'll be nice. It's supposed to be, as far as we know, it's still supposed to be on track for a April or May opening for next year. So everything's been good. As far as the team goes, our record's not great. We're like 21. I'm going to make up the record. I don't know it. Let's say 21-35, something ridiculous. But in minor league baseball, what they implemented last year is because there's so many guys that get called up and sent down, there's sort of 2 halves of the season. So what we did the first half doesn't really matter anymore. As long as we could win the second half, we have a chance to be in the playoffs. As a team in general, they're pretty gritty, even though they don't, their bullpen's not great. That's where a lot of sort of those losses have been, but they're pretty like a gritty team. And they do come from behind, and third string catchers hit home runs, and they win games, and it's fun.
Lots of walk-offs.
A lot of walk-offs. They're fun to watch. Carlos De La Cruz, who's coming to the store, obviously he's like 34-game hitting streak.
35 tonight.
35. He's doing well. I love him. I hope he could stay here forever, but I know, he's probably pretty soon going up at some point to Lehigh Valley, I would imagine. Other than him, we still have some of the young pitchers that were here with Painter, and they're doing okay. And the starting pitching's doing good. Hitting's doing okay. The bullpen is where we struggle, sort of like a lot of other teams. But they're fun to watch. The attendance and crowds have been fantastic night after night, whether it's a Tuesday or a Wednesday. Normally like a Tuesday, Wednesday, you might struggle a little bit early in the season when kids aren't out of school. Every time the weather's nice, the place is packed. I haven't seen there less than 6,500 people on the low end when the weather's nice. And then, the next homestand we're coming up on is Wednesday the 28th through July 3rd. So that's kids are out of school, and it's 4th of July weekend. So it doesn't look like there's any slowing down. Luckily, training this week and not next week. But no, everything's been good. It's been a full house. People are spending money. I don't know where they're all getting it from, but they're spending it, and
that's all that matters.
It's been good. It's been really good.
Good to hear. Good to hear some positive news.
Yeah.
Lauren, what's happening with UMaine, Pennsylvania? I heard you got a few more pints on the calendar this weekend.
We've got 2 events this weekend. So we've got a mini Pints for Pups at Rainy Cellars Brewing, which is up in Millersville, and then one on Sunday at Liberty Tap Room in like the Exeter, Reading area. So those have been going well for us. We have more than ever scheduled this year, so that's great. It kind of gives everybody a chance to get out there all throughout the summer based on your schedule. Pretty much every weekend there's at least one going on. I think next weekend might be the exception where we don't have a mini pints. But if we don't have a mini pints for pups, then we're out at Fiesta Friday at the Reading Phils. Our Bark in the Parks start next Sunday, July 2nd. So we're just
movie
in.
night again?
We will have a movie night again. It'll be Rocky Horror Picture Show in September. So we're doing that again out at our dog park. We'll be doing a flea market in August. So we just have a ton of events in the works. Just kind of something for everybody. So we're in full event season right now.
Very good. Very good. Staying busy. That's what we like to hear.
Always.
Always. Always, always, always. Real quick, it was fun. It was fun with Ron Flockhart, and you guys talked about the Phillies a little bit, and you talk about events, and I looked at June 28th, and an event that if we didn't already have one planned. I see Jason and Travis Kelce have their beer contest down at Ocean
Drive.
called?
Drive.
Ocean Drive in Sea Isle. That would be a hoot to go to.
Can you imagine how crowded that will be and how
Crazy.
I mean, yeah, like that is just wild. I mean, I don't know if you guys catch much of their podcast, New Heights. It's hysterical. I mean, they talk about some funny stuff, and they're just so good together.
Yeah. I don't know if it's Jason brings out the best in Travis, or Travis brings out the best in Jason, but yeah, the two of them are funny as all get out. And I brought it up the other morning in my post that Travis is in town, right? He's here. He was seen at a couple of places on the main line. So he's in the Philly area. So it's pretty cool to see the camaraderie there with these two brothers.
Oh,
So that's going to be a hoot down the shore. And everybody that I know that has a place down the shore runs into Jason down in Sea Isle because he recently bought a house down there. So
They don't hide.
they do not hide. They do not shy away from fan interaction and just, bringing it
He
all
would
the
be
time.
he would be a hard person to hide.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So, but in any event, we're at Buffalo Wild Wings next Thursday. Next Wednesday, rather. So Brian Prop, and we'll have to talk to Proper about Flocky hockey and get his take on all of that. So that's got to be interesting, to hear the other side of some of those stories. So good stuff. Good stuff. Kind of like off kilter tonight. You guys have anything that that we need to talk about?
Well, you got a few good activities going on if you're not doing anything this weekend. Sunday and Monday, you got Mondo Sosa is going to be here at the store from 7:30 to 9 on Sunday.
Yep.
And what a utility guy turned starter he has become. Thrown into the starters, job at third base. For the most part, and really, really played well.
Yes, he brings a lot of juice to the team as well. He keeps them relaxed.
Yeah,
the energy.
He's hoping to have some good interaction with him. But I'm really we're in baseball mode. So Anthony's not happy about some of the dates that he can't make, but
well, he'll be there Sunday and Monday. No, he can make them all.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. Yeah. And then we follow right up. Not less than 24 hours later, we're right back here with Carlos de la Cruz.
Yep.
I think I'm just going to sleep there.
Bring an umbrella. So.
Yeah, I was going to say. I mean, I'll probably set my cot up, not out front at the signing table, but maybe inside where it's dry.
Yeah.
And Carlos is going to be fun. Carlos is
he's a super nice guy.
Very nice guy. He stays there signing autographs for kids. There was a game maybe a week, somewhere in the last 2 weeks, where the team just lost. Carlos got a hit. The guy who batted after him didn't get a hit. They lost the game. Everyone's kind of walking off disappointed. And these little kids who don't know the difference were just screaming at him, "Carlos, we love you. You had a great game." And he just had a big smile on his face. And he stayed, signing autographs for let's say a half hour just for the kids. He's just a really nice human being, so everyone's going to enjoy him.
Yeah, that's Joe Stinger's guy.
Yeah. I remember a couple of years ago, Joe took a picture with him at it might have been one of Carlos's first camps. But Lauren and I got to talk to him a little bit Sunday. I took a picture with him myself, and he seems like he's just having fun, right?
Yeah, and I mean, he plays the outfield and first base. A lot of times in Phillies fashion, they don't play one spot, so he's playing the entire outfield and right field and first base. But he plays it all well. He doesn't look awkward out there when he does it. So that's actually, I guess, good for him. If wherever the Phillies have a spot, he could sort of plug it in. And I imagine if he gained a couple more pounds, he could probably be more of a power guy. But he's making a lot of hits in general, which isn't a bad thing.
Right.
Yeah.
I hear he's a little bit of a comedian as well.
Is that right?
Well, yeah. I mean, when he was talking with you, he had, him and Logan O'Hoppe have the same agent, and he's like, "Am I going to get traded after coming down there?" That was pretty cool. That he, was able to get in on that and know what was going on here at the store as well.
Yeah, we don't need to. That was a tough one losing him, but I'll remember that story for a long, long time because that was a fun signing, and then the next day he got traded. So
another super awesome dude. He was really, really cool, and him and his girlfriend here. She was at Penn State as well, if I'm not mistaken. Right?
She plays on the Penn State soccer team, I believe.
Right. Yeah,
I think that love boat might have sailed though.
Oh,
you're breaking news.
Why would you say that?
In true millennial fashion, they don't follow each other on Instagram anymore, and I don't really see either one of them posting the other one. So based on my research, I I don't think that love boat's still on the dock.
And if you get deleted on Instagram, it might as well be a divorce.
Yeah, I mean that's
Hey, huh?
yeah, that's the true sign. I don't think it's worked out.
Breaking news.
Sorry to hear that. Breaking news. It always happens on this Fan's View too.
It does.
You're welcome. That's what you got me here for.
That's right.
And I also think that in the Phillies weather delay right now, Matt Strom is on with his that show that he does with the cards.
Yeah.
John was just telling me all about that the other day.
Yep. Yeah.
You got to find out. Maybe there's I don't know. It looks like this is like, I don't know, maybe his house with like a.
Yeah, it's just a backdrop.
But if they ever do like a live show, sort of like.
Oh no, he does. He does.
Does he?
Yeah, cause I don't know what this one is that you're watching, but what was it? I think it was Sunday. I think it was Sundays after Sunday's game. I was watching the post game and watching them. It seemed like he does it when he travels to different towns.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was in Colorado with the Rockies, and there's a museum / store that has out there that has all stadium memorabilia throughout, like all the polo grounds and everything like that. Different Yankee Stadium pieces of artifacts, and he was there talking about that, and some guy was selling belts made out of baseball cards.
That was just on, literally.
Okay, so it's the same show then. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Matt Strom's, it's a podcast type of thing that he does. It's basically like box breaking. It's called The Card Life.
Right, there you go.
And I do think he's got some interest in potentially partnering with Carl's Cards. So on that, so that could be cool.
There you go.
Very cool.
Well, I'll have to talk to him when he's here at the store.
That is on July 17th.
Monday night. Yep.
Yeah.
That is July 17th. And maybe we can do a card break with Steve Blass.
Sure.
We can buy some 70s wax packs and see if we can't pull his card.
He's a super nice guy. He'll do whatever you want him to do. He's a nice man.
That is on Saturday, July 22nd. Are you going to be able to make that one?
I'm going to make it, whether I can or not. I'm going to make it.
He's already requested that day off.
Yeah,
I think you're bringing him, correct?
Well, from last time I talked to him, it sounded like he wanted to get to about Reading, and then he said he had enough driving, even though he hasn't done it yet. And then, so I don't know if he's going to stop at the house here, and I'm going to drive him the rest of the way, or what. But no, he's a really nice guy. He'll do anything. So. I'm sure people will like him. Yeah, he also hasn't been back in Philadelphia, he said, since he was a broadcaster. So that was, 4 years ago at this point, and he hadn't really done any signings or anything like that in Philadelphia. So I think that's going to do pretty well. I think people are going to be excited.
Mm-hmm.
I think somebody bought a ticket online from Rhode Island.
Well, Steve's from Connecticut, so maybe it's someone from New England that knows him or was a fan or followed him growing up. So.
The last name was Blass. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
it was not.
Definitely.
Okay, Lassie, that's enough of your jokes.
But he was excited. He was excited for that, and then he's sort of the representative that goes to the different Pirates guys when they get in their Hall of Fame, which they just started last year. So I saw a nice video the other day of when I don't remember if that one he went to his house or he called Kent Colby to tell him he's going in the Hall of Fame this year. So I think, if I'm correct, I think Steve is like the MC of that going forward each year. So Steve should be the MC of the.
Was he the MC last year?
No, because he got inducted though.
Oh.
So I think he's the MC of that this year in August for those guys. So that'll be nice.
Now, was Steve Blass part of the broadcast with the guy who had to walk back from Pittsburgh after the Phillies were down 9-0, and
I remember Steve Jeltz hit that, but who's the person that?
It was one of the broadcasters on the game, and he said
Steve must have been somehow involved because he was involved for 60 years straight. So the difference is I don't know if they did it back in the 80s and 90s, but now they rotate. So it's one day you're on the radio, one day you're on TV, one day you're on the radio, one day you're on TV. So I'm imagining whoever that was he worked with at some point over those 60 years.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have to see, get some insight on that walk back.
Yeah.
If he knows when he's here.
He's got a great Roberto Clemente story.
I've heard it 100 times. You'll hear it again.
You'll hear it again. Yep. We won't ruin it for you.
It's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yep.
Yep. Well, there should be a nice picture of him and Roberto Clemente here at the store as well.
There were some good pirate days back then.
Had a good run.
What do you? We got a couple of minutes. What Jim Rooker is? Joe Stinger came up with. I was thinking Rhodes, but Joe came up with Jim Rooker. Is that the guy who walked back?
I think that's right. Yeah, but I mean, Steve was always a color man, so he probably wouldn't have been with him directly because that would have been two color guys. But I'm sure he knows him over the years. I mean, if you look back at the photos, Steve was announcing from the 80s all the way up until 2020. So I'm sure he knows everybody.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, it was a fun night here on This Fan's View. We again thanking you guys for being part of 251 shows now. Last week was a blast at Hanrahan's for show 250.
Yep.
Just an absolute blast and a good time by everybody. So come out next week. We're at Buffalo Wild Wings in Glen Mills. Hope to see a packed house again.
Mm-hmm.
And closing comments. You guys got anything that we need to?
The only thing I want to say, which no one really cares about, but I just noticed it the other day in a story. So the XFL, which everyone thought with The Rock it was going to make all this money, it was going to do well. They lost.
He's gone broke.
I want to say 60 million. I could be wrong. It might have been more than that. But just again, there's never been a football league other than the NFL that has actually survived. So
but don't you think
why don't we just stop doing it? It's not going to work. But don't you think there's got
to be a lot of one-time costs up front to get it going? So that 60 million won't be next year and the following year, but it costs us X amount of money to get it up and running.
Yeah, but I think if there ever is going to be a league, it needs to be owned by the NFL, and it needs to be like the NBA with the D League. That it's sort of not these random leagues that pop up in the spring. In the spring, people don't. I mean, they've had enough at that point. You want to watch.
Isn't the USFL doing fairly well?
No, I think NBC.
Are they on right now?
Yeah, no, they're not doing well because first of all,
they're finishing up their season in the next a week or two with the.
You can't even go to Philadelphia to watch the Stars. They don't even exist in Philadelphia, so no one cares. It's irrelevant players. You watch it; it's slow. People want it to be successful. I think the NFL just needs to make their own developmental league and be done with it. So it seems legit. These other ones just don't. They don't work.
No, true. That's true. It's true. As much as I like the Stars, but which they're I think they're playing for the playoffs this week as well. So.
Do you watch them each week? Tell the truth.
No, I don't. Okay. No, I saw them a little bit last week.
Okay.
But yeah, it wasn't.
Can you get into it, or you can't really get into it?
It's a little bit tough. Yeah. I mean, it was cool because they had a little bit of a comeback. They fell short. And their quarterback, he's tough as hell, and he gets beat up every week, and he always seems to be hurt, and he just keeps getting up like the Energizer Bunny, and playing. But they have some weird rules, like as far as they have if you score a touchdown, you can do instead of kicking it off, you could do a 4th and 13 play or something like that.
Okay.
Wow.
So you can still get keep the ball back if you get the 4th and 13. So, it's a little bit corny that way.
Yeah.
Doing that, but it also keeps the interest when you're, the Stars were down by like 13, 14 points, and they had to do that. They got it, but
I think the other the other problem is that like people understand that all these leagues have folded. So I don't want to take the time to watch one until I know it's going to last. If the NFL actually owned it and it was part of their organization, you know that they would be around. So I don't trust these other ones that they're going to be around more than a year or two.
No, and like we've said it many times here. You know, it would be the perfect thing is have a like a D League type of thing with the NFL, and that way when players get hurt, you got guys that can step right in and know your system. Versus taking a couple weeks. So yeah,
right.
I see what you guys did here, and in true Philly fashion, we kudos to Coffee Jones as we close out the show. He was a big AFL guy with the Philadelphia Stars. That Jaws owned the team, and
the Philadelphia
Philadelphia Soul. That's where they got their connection, and So again, to the big fella, rest in peace. As we close out another week, thank you. Thanks, John. Thanks, Lauren. Thanks, Anthony. We probably won't have Anthony. Well, you're back to work next Wednesday, so we won't see you at Buffalo, right?
No, but the month of July.
What are the 2 live show dates you want to tell the folks?
Well, right now, tentatively the 12th and the 19th.
Okay.
But there's things we're working on the there's a lot of moving parts. So
with the All-Star break, it's a little bit little challenging.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, just before you're done, Danny Jackson, you've ever had him in the store? I know he's at our.
He's out at your place. The 28th?
Yeah, so I just wondered if he was a local guy. He might be someone good for the show if he's local. I don't know if he is or not.
He's not.
Okay.
No, he's not. He's not a local guy. We've never had him. No.
Okay. All right.
But he'd be a good person down the road for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, but yeah, we're tentatively working on July 12th, July 19th. But like John said, with the All-Star break and, everybody, moving all over the place, we'll get it all figured out here in the next week or so. So.
Exactly.
All right, guys. I'm good.
Yep. Have a great week.
And I want to thank Ron Flockhart for jumping in, and we kind of worked around his schedule as well, so worked out well.
Yes. Get your duck boots ready. Gonna be a wet week.
Okay, they're ready.
All right. All right. The rain scares me these days, but we'll get through that too.
Yes, we will. We will.
All right, guys. Have a great night. Be safe. Johnny, I'll see you on Friday.
Yes, you will.
All right.
All right.
Take care, everybody. Thank
See
you.
ya.
Yep.